Elevating Masculinity, the Power of Meditation for Men. Transform your mind, transform your life. Written by Noraa Casi and Ray Nabato. Read to you by Lauren Garvin. Male voice narrated by Brandon Harrigan. Introduction. If you're reading this book, then you have made a smart decision. Perhaps you have experimented with meditation before, and now you need some guidance. Or maybe you're thinking about taking it up for the first time, but you need more information. Whichever it is, I can guarantee that you're about to learn everything you need to know, and not just about how to meditate. Now, it's very probable that the readers of this book will be in different life stages, not necessarily dependent on age, but rather circumstances. And the good news is that you can all derive great benefits from meditation. Indeed, you will definitely get to know yourself better. And in doing so, you will operate more effectively in a way that promotes mental wellness. Meditation is more complex than you might think. In fact, it takes years of practice to master the art. However, at the beginning, even if you are only able to meditate for 30 seconds before becoming distracted by thoughts, don't worry. That is completely normal, and also completely okay. If you manage 30 seconds, that's better than nothing at all. And in any event, you don't need to stop there. You can refocus by clearing your mind of all thoughts and getting back to the task at hand. You may have heard of mindfulness before, and that's good, because it's going to be a big theme in this book. Mindfulness goes hand in hand with meditation and is all about being present in the moment. The former can be differentiated from the latter in terms of presence. Again, like meditation, it may take you some time to get going. However, mindfulness is easier to get better at than meditation, even though both practices have the same, or at least similar, outcomes. There are many ways in which mindfulness can be used, and as you continue reading, you will gain the knowledge to use it on a daily basis, and not only when you sit down by yourself. We tend to go through life without paying any mind to the monotonous things, like waking up in the morning and getting ready for work. This is where mindfulness comes in. It teaches you to observe your surroundings in greater detail, aided by your senses, to draw enjoyment and distraction from the simplest sights, sounds, tastes, and general activities you experience. And when I say distraction, I'm talking about a good kind. When you're distracted in a good way, there is little time to dwell on negativity, stress, anxiety, and other feelings that impair your well-being. So the first thing we have to do is make sense of what it means to be a man in society, as at this point you may be struggling to reconcile manliness with meditation. I hope you agree, and if not right now, I'm confident you will in good time, that there are stereotypical ideas of manliness, which society expects men to adhere to. However, you should be comfortable enough in yourself to tell friends and family that your meditation practice doesn't make you any less of a man. To that end, we are going to address the myths surrounding meditation, and we will also look at the stories of highly successful men who have benefited greatly from meditation. Success, whatever that may be for you, can be the result of inspiration from people who have achieved incredible things, and as such, it can be the first building block to your success. All people have a feminine and masculine operating system. Men have an internal masculinity, and so do women, although the latter has smaller doses. The opposite is also the case, and as you and I both know, males and females differ in their approaches to life. For instance, masculinity is often associated with strength, stoicism, problem-solving, and a need for competition. Now, many of these traits are true of men, but not always. As we continue, I will explain more about male and female social interactions, which will assist in learning about yourself. For the moment, though, I am going to pose a question, and I want you to answer it and see if it changes your mind. There is no wrong answer, and at this stage, It's really just an opinion. Should we challenge toxic masculinity? All humans are complicated, and an interesting theme on this score is shame and its origins, as well as its relevance. If you have ever felt shame and are confused about the reasons behind your shame, I'm going to help you gain a better understanding. Men tend to suppress emotions more than women, and on the point of shame, not dealing with related emotions can be particularly damaging to mental health. Forgiveness falls into this category, and holding on to grudges has no benefit to either party. On that note, you will learn about meditation and mindfulness, how they can help you forgive others and yourself. Are you starting to see how vast the concept of meditation is? Meditation can be helpful for stress, emotional resilience, cognitive improvement, memory, and clear thinking. When you synergize all of these benefits, you can get the most out of both meditation and mindfulness. Breathing is a big component of each, and in Chapter 7, we will go over a series of important breathing exercises to aid in these areas. Whether you've heard of them or not, we're going to go over alternate nostril breathing, the 4-7-8 method, and pursed lip breathing, along with box breathing, mindful breathing, and lion's breath. Breathing fills your blood with oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. So, the general gist of deep breathing is to maximize oxygen intake and maximize carbon dioxide release. You'll see what I mean. I referred to synergy earlier, and what that essentially means is that all parts of something operate together. Your aim then is to create synergy between the different components of your mind and body. And when everything is working together, you will know, and it will be wonderful. The subject of journaling may be one you are uncomfortable with, but it's something that's going to require attention. Sitting down with a pen and some paper, with no distractions and an allocated time, has the potential to lead you to a greater understanding of yourself as a person and as a man, which is why we will discuss self-discovery through mindfulness and meditation. Remember that positive affirmations, identifying problems, and discovering areas of your life that you would like to improve upon are instrumental in the development of mental sharpness, clarity, and good decision-making. To identify your true self, you need to consider a wider consciousness, work on emotional intelligence, and engage in self-reflection. Have you ever heard the acronym SMART? Well, it refers to a framework you can apply to your goal setting, which is used often in the business and corporate world. Specifically, it's concerned with shedding any ambiguity from your goals. For instance, I want to be rich is such a broad, vague goal that it's almost bound to be unattainable. In particular, using the word want is not part of SMART because, well, it makes you want something instead of work for it. Don't worry. SMART is a simple concept that you'll pick up easily, with obvious benefits for not only setting but reaching your goals. Trust me, getting uncomfortable can make you more comfortable. I will explain that concept in good time. Mindfulness stretches as far as communication. With that in mind, I'd like to pose a challenge to you. Before you get to Chapter 6, wherein we'll be discussing communication more thoroughly, try to work out what mindful communication may look like. Do some role play with a friend or family member in regard to the way you think mindful communication should be held. This isn't a test, but by the time you reach the end of that chapter, you'll know if you were correct or not. The body-mind connection is not one that necessarily involves a physical aspect. On that note, progressive muscle regulation is not an exercise. Rather, it's a manifestation of muscle use as a means of stress relief. The body is also involved in the mindfulness scan. And again, though it's not an exercise, it does build a synergy between mind and body, just from a focus standpoint as opposed to a physical exertion one. Have no fear. These concepts will become clearer when we discuss reliance and resilience-specific meditation techniques in further detail. Lastly, we're going to finish off with some useful tips on how to practice meditation, consolidating all the overall benefits, including mindfulness. The tips are both simple and actionable, and will grant you that last bit of motivation needed to get going and to continue along your journey of personal growth. And so all that's left to say is, let's go. Conclusion. Here we are. You've made it to the end. Well done, my friend. What were your favorite parts? Have you tried any meditation or mindfulness practices yet? If so, how did they go? If you could answer these questions for me, as well as leave any comments as part of a review, I would sincerely appreciate it. I hope you have enjoyed reading this book as much as I enjoyed writing it. And if you would like to refresh your knowledge and supplement it, do have a look at the references following this conclusion. Now, as you proceed into a life of meditation and mindfulness, I urge you not to delay. Before you know it, a week has gone by and you haven't started. And at that rate, the unfortunate thing is you probably never will. There is no time like the present. So why not begin with some breathing exercises today? You have a lot to choose from, so feel free to give one a go. And if you decide it's not for you, then just move on to the next one. You could also start with mindfulness, of course, right where you are sitting. For instance, you could either picture objects in your mind or pick out the details of those around you. Another option is to take out your journal and write about the people and things you are grateful for. Why not cook a meal and focus on the smells while you do? Then eat without distractions, picking apart the different flavors. Try to harness pure enjoyment while being present in the moment. You know the drill. Get up and go for a slow walk. Look at your surroundings and focus on the detail in what you see. The body scan is a good exercise too. So maybe get YouTube up, find a recording. I would advise 5 minutes to start, and give it a go. Again, all I ask is that you do not delay. I hope, and I am being confident in that hope, that your opinion of being a man has now broadened. I would encourage you to think long and hard about what being a man means to you. Something else I hope is that you agree that toxic masculinity needs to be questioned. I'm sure that if you consider yourself a toxic male, you will change. In fact, I implore you to do so. Forgiveness and the ability to forgive others and yourself is another subject that warrants repeating. I want you to remember that holding on to resentment, or any of the other emotions that come with a reluctance to forgive, is a means to harming your own mental health. And the power of meditation can transform you by lightening your load when you apologize when you're wrong, and forgiving when you're right. Just don't place too much emphasis on being right, of course. You are now also aware of the myths surrounding masculinity. And whether you considered meditation a women's pursuit before, I am certain that your mind has been changed. If you thought that meditation and success were unrelated, I know unequivocally that your mind has been changed. If they can use meditation for success, then so can you. Use your masculine energy to take on the meditation and mindfulness challenge. Your problem-solving skills, your creativity, and your independence will all be improved. As you know, these are all traits of masculinity. And as they are improved upon, so too will be your logic and your internal strength. As a man, you need to be resilient. And sometimes to be resilient, you first have to be vulnerable. And this goes back to stepping out of your comfort zone. Indeed, you must become uncomfortable. And as a result of the experience, you will become comfortable. In terms of goal setting, please don't overlook the SMART framework, as the method will make you even more goal-oriented, especially due to your ability to measure progress. The more you achieve, the more you will want to achieve. And SMART goals will help you get there. Goals turn challenges into opportunities, which is why you have goals for your meditation and mindfulness practices too. Being able to reach 5 minutes of uninterrupted meditation is tough, but you will get there if you set it and monitor it as progress toward that 5-minute mark. Regarding mindfulness, your goal might be to do the whole body scan without thoughts creeping in. That too is difficult. But again, you will get there. You deserve self-compassion, so please practice it. Remember not to be too hard on yourself and adopt the be compassionate to myself in the same way that I would be compassionate to a friend approach. And what comes with it? Yes, self-reflection, which is best done in your journal. Self-reflection can be a tool for improved communication in a mindful way. You now know how to combat stress, but don't forget to pay attention to the stress relief exercises in Chapter 7. Be consistent, start small, and don't be afraid to experiment and improvise. After all, meditation is adaptable, and so is mindfulness. Finally, have fun and celebrate every success that you find through your new pursuits of the mind and body. Gosh, our time has come to an end. But I would like to leave you with one final quote. You've heard it before, but I feel that's applicable to the point where you need to hear it again. Please take it to heart, and good luck on your meditation and mindfulness journey. No matter what you do, mindfulness is something that can get you ready for the moment, no matter how big or how small it is. Even if you're not trying to hit a game-winning shot in the NBA Finals, it's important to stay centered throughout any journey so that you can enjoy it all, and not just at the end of a big moment. Often, when people focus on the outcome instead of the process, they find themselves at the end asking, "Wow, is that it? And what now?" That's a difficult situation to be in. But if you're mindfully aware of all the moments up until that point, you won't get so stuck on what was or what could be. Michael Jordan, All Areas of Life. Thanks for purchasing this book. Please support independent publishers like me by giving your review on Amazon or at mybook.to/meditation4men. Check out the full meditation series. All titles in this series include Introduction to Meditation, Meditation for Teenagers, Empowering Teens, Meditation for Men, Elevating Masculinity, Meditation for Women over 50, Breaking Free from Menopause, Meditation for Grandparents, coming soon, Meditation Coloring Book, and Meditation Journal.